Versace robes. Oh, you want Dennis's robe with Dennis's scent on it. So you can wrap yourself in it and think of Dennis and reminisce about Dennis and pretend Dennis is there with you. Is that what it is, Porsha? What's the story, Morning Glory? What's the word, Hummingbird? Thank you so much for joining me again on my channel and joining me for this tomfoolery called Porsha's Family Matters Not Without My Robe. So now I see what's really going on here. So we have Porsha's father's side of the family with Lauren and Londi and some other people. Then we got Porsha's mother's side of the family, which is with Storm, her mother, her aunts, and one other aunt on her father's side. Okay, so there's like this division between the families. Like one team, which is Porsha's father's side, which is like Lauren and Londi, they are completely Team Dennis. The other side is completely Team Simon. So now I see what's going on here. Okay, so it starts off with Lauren in her home doing some kind of meditation ritual. Cousin Londi comes over. They start talking about the barbecue and how things had gone left really quickly at the barbecue. And Londi in her confessional said that she doesn't really want to say it, but Porsha's side of the family is real country, like real country. But she didn't really want to go out and say all that, but that's what she was meaning. So she tells Lauren how awkward it was that everybody started praising Simon because Porsha and Simon really don't know each other, but her mother's side of the family think that he's just the bee's knees. So Lauren also told Porsha that, okay, because they're planning this trip, which was starting off as a girls' trip to Mexico to do this whole meditation, rejuvenation type of thing with Lauren's spiritual leader. I think her name is Lena. But now it was turning into something else. So now they want to invite the two men, Simon and Dennis, because they want this to also be like the first step of really blending the two families together. Or actually, yeah, the two families together. The two families really consisting of basically Porsha and her whole family, Simon, Dennis and his mom. So they want to like blend this together. I don't really get that because Simon's family wasn't a part of it. The only person that came for Dennis was his mother. But they're talking about, blending the families together, doing this whole Brady Bunch thing for the benefit of little Pilar. So they're going to invite Dennis and Simon. What else? Londi and Lauren, they want to bribe Dennis because Lauren talked to Dennis about coming to Mexico. And at first, Dennis said he wasn't going to go. He really wasn't feeling it. And plus, he can't bring anyone else other than his mom. And so he's like, no, I don't think I'm gonna go. I don't think it's for me. So then Lauren tells him that if you come, you can get your Versace robe back because Dennis had left a whole bunch of stuff at Porsha's house, including this Versace robe. And he wants his Versace robe back. In fact, in the previous episode, when him and Porsha went out to dinner, he brought up the robe. And she basically said that she wasn't going to give it back. For whatever reason, Porsha doesn't want to give this robe back. I guess because she still wants to wear it to feel like, Dennis is still embracing her so she could smell him. And it feels like, this wonderful continuous hug from Dennis. That's what I'm gathering. So they plan on Lauren and Londi, they plan on stealing the robe out of Porsha's home so they can have it to give back to Dennis if he decides to show up from Mexico. So they do this elaborate plan where they call her assistant because Porsha was with her assistant at the time. And like they're telling her assistant, hey, keep Porsha occupied because we're going to sneak into her home and we're going to, take the robe. And so the assistant is down with it. So she's trying to keep Porsha distracted while Lauren and Londi sneak into her home, go upstairs to her bedroom, into her closet, and they take the Versace robe and they take some other items that Dennis had left over there at Porsha's house. That goes on, successfully. So then Porsha and her mom, they're making a Nigerian breakfast for Simon. Porsha tells her mom that she plans to invite Dennis and Simon on the trip because, she wants to blend this family together. And I'm like, what family are you blending? Because it's just Simon who's showing up to represent his family. And Dennis is only showing up with his mom. So like, what family are you blending? And you're already like family with Dennis and his mom anyway. So that's already blended because you'll have this child together. So what are you talking about? So I think she just wants to have these two men in her life. I think she likes being with Simon because he's wealthy, and she likes Dennis. She knows that Dennis is still attracted to her, still has feelings for her. And so she likes this attention that Dennis gives her, like on on the sly, like low key giving her attention and low key flirting with her. I think she also likes that as well. And that's why she wants to keep Dennis around. It ain't about blending no damn family for the benefit of Pilar. So Simon comes over while she's making this Nigerian breakfast, and Simon sits there. He's so cool, he's so chill, he's always in a state of like relaxation. And he tells in his confessional, he says that he really enjoys Porsha cooking for him and taking care of him because he's always been the one to care for others, and now he's getting that sense of being taken care of, and he really likes it. And he says it's really refreshing to have a woman take care of me because he was the one always taking care of them. Okay, so Porsha invites Simon to the trip. Simon's chill. He's like, yeah, I'll go. I don't think this man has ever said no to anything ever in his life, because everything is like, yeah, sure. You want your baby daddy to come over and live with us? Yeah, sure. Go ahead. You want your baby daddy to sleep in the bed with us? Okay, yeah, sure. He's just everything is so easygoing. And so, everybody's preparing for the trip to Mexico. Lauren is packing with her mom and her daughter Bailey. And Lauren asks her mom, which I thought was kind of strange. She goes, what do you think of me being the leader of this group? Do you think that they're going to listen to me? And her mom is like, oh, yeah, you'll make a great leader. And I'm like, what are you talking about being a leader? If you're a leader, you're a leader. You don't have to ask, hey, can I be a leader? Hey, what do you think about me being a leader? If you're a leader, if you have that kind of personality just to lead and take control, then you're just a leader naturally. So evidently, Lauren, you're not a natural born leader. Okay, so Porsha, she's packing with her mom and her assistant, and then her and her mom have the conversation about what Miss Gina had told Porsha when they met in the previous episode, because Gina had told Porsha, your mom told me that you were cheating as well. It wasn't just my son who was doing all the wrong. You were also being unfaithful. And I heard it from your mother. Your own mother told me. So Porsha brings this information to her mother. She confronts her mom about this, and she's like, you know what, Miss Gina said that you told her that I was cheating on Simon. And the mom was like, she said, what? I didn't tell her that. So she seemed really offended and taken aback by this information. And then all of a sudden, she doesn't want to go on the trip anymore because she don't want that smoke. So she completely denies it. And then all of a sudden, she tells Porsha that she's kind of having second thoughts about the trip. I bet you are having second thoughts about the trip because you're probably worried that Miss Gina and Dennis are probably going to bring out all kinds of proof and receipts of you actually saying this. So you're going to keep your little beautiful behind at home, away from all this heat, because I know you don't want it, Miss Diane. So Dennis and his mom, they meet at the crystal shop because they're going to buy some crystals, because they were looking at some it seemed like Lauren had emailed everybody who's going on the trip, and she gave them like a list of all the stuff to bring or what to expect. I guess like the itinerary or the agenda. And it was like multiple pages. I'm like, Lauren, you're doing too much. So they're at the crystal shop, I guess, to buy crystals, and the mom's asking Dennis if he was going to the trip, and he says he didn't know. And then they talk about the meeting that the mother had with Porsha, and Mama Gina said that she had asked Porsha if she'd ever cheated on Dennis. That's what she tells her son. I asked Porsha if she ever cheated on you, but at the dinner that she had with Porsha, it seemed like she was confronting Porsha and telling her, your mother told me you were unfaithful to Dennis. But she tells her son, yeah, I asked her if she ever cheated on you. And she talks about the conversation that she had with Porsha. And so she tells her son that Miss Diane had told her something about Porsha and some man. They didn't say who the man was, but Miss Diane had confided in Miss Gina, like, Porsha is doing something or whatever with some dude. And so Dennis was like, well, if she told you that, how come you never told me that? And so, yeah, Miss Gina, why didn't you tell your own son that? And so in her confessional, Mama Gina is like, well, Portia's always acting so innocent, and she's not. And then in Dennis's confessional, he says Porsha was not a saint when we were together. And that's all I'm going to say about that. And he said nothing more. So then everybody's getting ready to get on the bus, the charter bus, private bus, whatever you want to call it. And one of her assistants, I think his name is Dom, he was complaining to Porsha about having to carry this. See, this whole thing to me was like so stagey, so unrealistic. Like, what's happening here? Everything is packed, right? But for whatever reason, her assistant Dom is carrying the Versace robe that belongs to Dennis. He's carrying it in his hand, and he's telling Porsha, I don't know why they got me carrying this robe. Like, why are you carrying a robe all willy-nilly? I think he was carrying it all willy. I wasn't really paying attention on that particular scene. I think he was carrying it all willy-nilly. It didn't look like it was in a cover. It didn't look like it wasn't packed away in a suitcase. I'm not sure why he was just carrying this Versace robe all out in the open like that. I think he did, but maybe he didn't. I'm not sure. And so that's how Porsha knew that the robe was coming with them to Mexico. So Miss Diana's not there, and we know why, because she's scared. And Dennis is not there because he did end up showing up because he didn't want his mom there to go without anybody else being there. I think he came on his own. I don't think he rode on the bus with them. I think he came on his own. He arrived in Mexico on his own, I think, but I don't remember. But either way, Dennis showed up because he said he didn't want his mom alone, with all these vultures. So when they get to Mexico, there's like a group of Mayan dancers who greet them with this beautiful dance, welcome them to Mexico. Lauren starts assigning rooms, and she said, this is what I thought was funny. When she assigned Porsha's room, she says, Porsha, you and Pilar are going to have whatever suite. And I think she said you and Pilar. And I didn't understand why she didn't say you and Simon. Of course, Pilar is going to be with her. But why wouldn't she say you and Simon have this suite? She said you and Pilar. Whatever. So Lauren doesn't want Dennis. Okay, so Lauren assigns Dennis in the same suite with her and Londi, which is like a huge suite. Of course, Lauren has the best part of it. But yeah, Dennis is supposed to be sharing a suite with Lauren and Londi. And Dennis was like, oh, hell no. I'm a grown man. I'm not sharing a suite with you and Londi. I need my own room, my own space. And Lauren says that the reason why she put Dennis in her suite was because she needed to keep an eye on him in case he wanted to bring a female. In case he wanted to hang out or bring a female with him. And I'm like, he's a grown single man. If he wants to bring a female with him, why the hell not? Like, are you trying to like make it to where like Dennis and Porsha fall in love with each other again and they hook back up again? Like, what are y'all doing? Let the man bring a damn woman if he wants to bring a damn woman. This man is like jonesing to bring a damn female with him to these damn family events, and y'all keep shutting him down. If he wants to bring, he's a single man. Why can't he? Porsha brought not even her whole husband. Porsha brought someone else's whole husband with her. Why can't Dennis bring a female with him to this vacation? So they're out by the pool, and Dennis starts being real funny. He takes off his shirt. He completely takes off his shirt, and while he's taking off his shirt, he's like, oh hell no, I'm not gonna stay in this suite with you. I'm gonna get my own room. And Lauren tells him the rooms are booked in this hotel. And then he goes, I'm gonna go to another hotel. I'm gonna get me another hotel. And while he takes off his shirt, he takes off his pants and leaves his boxers on. He grabs Lauren and he throws her in the swimming pool. That was real funny. So after that, he calls his work. He calls the females in his life, he calls them work. So he calls his work or his work potential or whatever she is to him, and he's telling her, make sure that you bring something sexy, don't miss your flight. So evidently, he's going to bring some female over. Here we are at the dinner. So let me just kind of summarize this nonsense that happened at the dinner. So at the dinner, everybody shows up. Lena, Lauren's spiritual leader, shows up, and Lauren says that she needed Lena there to kind of help her control this group. And I'm like, Lauren, why you're a leader, right? Leaders don't have, what are you doing? Just lead. I don't know why you have to bring Lauren there. So she brings Lauren there. And not Lauren, she brings Lena there. So everybody starts showing up for dinner, blah, blah, blah. They sit down, whatever. And Lena starts off the dinner with some meditation type stuff. She's like, let's close our eyes and meditate. Okay, they do that. And then after that, she says, everybody, what does she say? Everybody speak your potential or speak your intentions, because when you actually verbalize your intentions, it's like more likely that they'll come true or something. So they all start speaking their intentions. So then when it comes to Porsha, she said that her spirit was really smoky, so she couldn't see see anything, and her intention was to, she couldn't see anything, and her intention was to come to the trip in truth, and she hasn't seen any truth yet. So then she brings up the robe. She's like, something about why, she says, she got mad at, was it Dennis or Dom? She got mad at somebody about that damn robe. And Lauren said, look, I brought the robe. It's my fault. I'm the one that took the robe, and I took it because I was going to bribe Dennis to come to Mexico on this trip. And Porsha got really upset, and she was like, well, I don't understand why you have to be bribed to come to this trip, because this trip is for your daughter. It's to create this blended family for your daughter, because no one has to bribe me with anything to come here. So why would you have to be bribed to come here? Why couldn't you just come here, you know, genuinely? Why wouldn't you want to genuinely want to be on this trip so that you can help your daughter, you know, establish this, you know, blended new family? And Dennis was like, girl, what? Ain't got nothing to do with no damn robe. And in his confessional, and it's so obvious to everybody but Porsha, he didn't come to Mexico for no robe. He came to Mexico because he really wanted to be a part of this process, you know, to appease Laura, to do it for Pilar, or whatever the reason. It had nothing to do with the robe. The whole robe thing was like, you know, jokey. Everybody understood the humor except Porsha and Storm. So Porsha was like, no one would have to bribe me about with no robe. And then Storm, her cousin from her mother's side, chimes in, and then she was like, well, it's the principle of it. It's that principle of it, whatever she said. And so then Dennis tells Storm to shut up, like, you know, you're not a part of this, so shut up, little girl. And then Londi is also telling Storm to shut up, like, you don't know nothing about this. You don't know what's going on. So stay in your place so you don't speak on this because you don't know what happened. So coming to find out, Storm had known Dennis before Porsha ever did, because Dennis had hired her to work in one of his restaurants as a hostess. Now, Storm says that when she worked there, Dennis was way too flirty with everybody, or just her, or whatever. He was just really flirty. I don't think Dennis is flirty like that. I think Dennis is like a very social person, and he's just like always wants to have fun. He's joking around all the time. I don't really see him as some kind of creepy man who's trying to always like creep up on the young girls. He's just like a really fun guy. That's what it seems like to me, but I don't know, because there's some issues with some animals going on. So that's what Storm says. So then Dennis says that, you know, Storm worked for me and I had to fire her because she was a poor employee. And so she ran to Porsha, and when she found out that me and Porsha were dating, she told Porsha, how could you be with him? He fired me, and plus he wants to get with me. So Porsha, I guess, got mad at Dennis, and then it came out that Storm was actually lying. Dennis was not trying to get with her at any point in time at all, period. So then Porsha kind of like iced Storm out. So there's like this whole thing with Storm. Storm is like this area of unnecessary controversy. So everyone starts yelling at everybody else. Everybody's talking about the robe. Portia's talking about the damn robe. Miss Gina, Dennis's mother, she's like, who cares about the damn robe? Like, why are we talking about a robe? Who cares? And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, who cares about the robe? Porsha, I mean, you're rich, right? Go get you about 20 more Versace robes. Oh, you want Dennis's robe with Dennis's scent on it, so you can wrap yourself in it and think of Dennis and reminisce about Dennis and pretend Dennis is there with you. Is that what it is, Porsha? So they go on about this robe. Lauren is so sick and tired of it, so she stands up and she starts yelling, forget about the robe, forget about the robe, just forget about the robe. And it was just like a huge mess. And Lauren is like, if I hear one more person say anything about a damn robe, you're gonna have to go home and leave. And that's where it ended. Yes, Porsha's Family Matters. Anyways, that is my review. Thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will definitely talk to you later. Bye-bye.